Is this some kind of joke? Private Liam Hayes shouted across the parade ground, his voice dripping with scorn as he pointed at the old janitor, pushing his mop slowly along the edge of the gym floor. Look at him, moving like a turtle. Does he even know he's on a military base? Laughter erupted from the surrounding cadets. A chorus of mockery aimed at the man who had been quietly sweeping the floors every day for as long as anyone could remember. Some even mimicked his careful movements, bending their backs exaggeratedly and dragging imaginary mops across the concrete in rhythm with their sneers. The old man did not respond. He continued pushing the mop with precise, deliberate motions, his red shirt visible beneath a worn dark grey jacket, his short grey hair catching the early sun, faint beard catching dust in its thin strands. His eyes moved slowly but with focus, scanning each section of floor as though it were a delicate instrument that could not be touched by careless hands. The cadets whispered and snickered behind him. "Hey Grandpa, are you going to finish that? Floor before lunch, or should we get you a walker?" One called, laughing along with the others. The old man did not flinch. He did not even glance up. There was a rhythm to his movements, a subtle patience in the way he worked that went unnoticed by the noisy, impatient youth. Lieutenant Parker, walking past, shook his head dismissively. "Still sweeping, huh?" he muttered. The janitor merely nodded, moving on, slow but purposeful, as if he carried a weight no one could measure. By mid-morning, drills had begun, and the cadets were running through obstacle courses, shouting commands, and carrying out training exercises meant to test stamina, coordination, and focus. The old man remained near the gym entrance, quietly adjusting the wheels on a cart, tightening loose bolts, checking the alignment of equipment. His hands moved with a precision that no young cadet possessed, almost instinctively correcting minor imbalances and unnoticed hazards that could easily have caused injury. Private Hayes stumbled over a crate while carrying supplies, nearly twisting his ankle, and the janitor's hand shot out like a whip, steadying the crate and stabilizing Hayes before he even realized what had happened. "Thanks," Hayes muttered, more surprised than grateful, and the old man simply nodded and returned to his work, invisible to everyone else as if he were part of the base itself. The hours passed slowly. The sun climbed higher, shadows shortened, and the relentless cadet drills continued. The old man moved silently through hallways, checking doors, adjusting handles, cleaning corners, and subtly monitoring the machinery that powered the base. To the cadets, it was routine, mundane, boring, but to him, each small task was a line of defense, a precaution against accidents, a measure to keep others safe without anyone noticing. It was just past noon when the first smell of smoke reached the gym. Faint, acrid, almost indistinguishable at first, it brushed the edge of perception. The old man froze, nostrils flaring, eyes narrowing. He moved immediately, dropping the mop, his body suddenly fluid with urgency and purpose. Down the hall, a corner of the storage room had caught fire, feeding on rags, paper, and leftover oil-soaked cloths. Flames licked the walls, spreading faster than anyone had imagined, curling up toward the ceiling where old wiring hung dangerously. "Fire! Fire!" someone screamed, and chaos erupted instantly. Cadets scattered, bumping into each other, shrieking, unsure of what to do. Officers barked orders, but panic was quicker than command. A young trainee grabbed a fire extinguisher, but froze, unsure of the mechanism. Others tried to open doors or pull hoses, fumbling in the smoke, coughing, their voices raw with fear. The old man moved like a shadow across the chaos, every step precise, every action calculated. He lifted a heavy hose, aimed it at the base of the flames, and directed the spray with a calm authority that seemed to dominate the very fire itself. "Back, stay back," he shouted, his voice steady, commanding, cutting through the panic. Cadets scrambled out of his path, some trying to help, but the real control belonged to him. He moved among the flames, ducking low, twisting around corners, dragging hoses and extinguishers with the strength and coordination of someone decades younger. Private Hayes froze, watching the old man work, a sudden realization breaking through the mockery and arrogance he had carried all morning. The precision, the confidence, the unshakable camole of it, screamed experience beyond anything he had imagined. As a bundle of flames threatened to reach a stack of volatile cleaning supplies, the old man lunged, yanking the crate out of the fire's path, spraying every corner with meticulous care. Sparks flew, smoke stung eyes and filled lungs. Cadets stumbled, but he remained untouchable, a calm in the storm, his every movement perfect, deliberate, and life-saving. The fire spread unpredictably, and several cadets were trapped near the corner of the storage room. Hayes froze as one of the younger recruits, frozen with fear, could not move past the smoke. The old man appeared instantly beside him, lifting him gently but firmly, carrying him backward with astonishing strength, setting him down safely. Hayes coughed, his eyes wide, as the reality sank in. The man he had mocked, laughed at, and belittled all week was saving lives while they were paralyzed with fear. Lieutenant Parker barked orders, trying to regain control, but it was too late to direct the chaos. The fire roared, smoke thickened, yet the old man continued, moving seamlessly among the panicked cadets, extinguishing fires, guiding people, and pulling heavy equipment out of harm's way. Every action precise, every step calculated, yet there was no sense of pride, no showmanship, only a quiet, relentless drive to protect others. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity compressed into minutes, the fire was under control. Sprinklers had been activated, the hoses had done their work, and the last smoke curled up the walls, dissipating into the afternoon air. Cadets stumbled out of the gym, coughing, terrified, exhilarated, and silent. Hayes finally found his voice, trembling, unsure whether to speak. I didn't know, he began, words failing him as he watched the old man brush soot from his jacket, mop in hand once more. Moving as if nothing had happened, a senior officer arrived, a fire chief following close behind. The room fell silent as he approached the old man, eyes wide with disbelief. "Sir, you handled that flawlessly. The layout, the hazards. That response, I've never seen anything like it." The old man simply shook his head, silent. Modus, turning to check a door hinge as though his actions had been nothing remarkable. But whispers spread quickly. Other officers and cadets began murmuring, realization dawning. The janitor had moved with the precision of someone trained in high-stakes operations, someone who knew exactly how fire, smoke, and chaos behaved. Private Hayes swallowed, guilt twisting his stomach, as he recalled his morning mockery. The man he had insulted and belittled had saved the lives of dozens of cadets, including him. Over the following hours, the cadets slowly gathered near the courtyard, still shaken, still awed. Some avoided looking directly at the old man, unsure how to reconcile the meek, slow figure they had laughed at with the hero they had just witnessed. Hayes approached hesitantly, dropping his head. I'm sorry. I didn't." He couldn't finish. Words failed him. The old man simply nodded, his eyes soft but unwavering. There was no anger, only quiet acceptance. As if he had expected this behavior all along and had chosen to save them regardless. Later that evening, after the fire alarms had ceased and the cadets had returned to their bunks, Lieutenant Parker addressed the group. "Today, we witnessed something extraordinary. A life was saved. A disaster was prevented. And it wasn't by anyone you expected." Eyes slowly turned toward the old janitor, who stood silently near the edge of the courtyard, mop in hand, red shirt beneath the gray jacket. Calm as ever. Some cadets whispered in awe. Hayes found himself speechless, heart pounding, realization burning deep. This man, mocked, ignored, and belittled for years, carried a past and a skill that no medal could express, no ceremony could honor adequately. He had done it all without expectation of recognition, without desire for applause. Only the quiet satisfaction of ensuring others survived and grew. That night, the cadets lingered, speaking in low voices, recounting what had happened, piecing together the glimpses of precision, strength, and knowledge that had saved them. Hayes lay awake in his bunk, thinking of the man, the morning mockery, and the afternoon heroism. Respect, awe, and guilt twisted into a single, intense feeling. When he returned to the courtyard the next day, the janitor was there, as always, sweeping, silent, slow, purposeful. Hayes approached, dropped to one knee instinctively, and saluted. The old man looked up briefly, nodded once, and returned to his work. The fire had burned, the smoke had cleared. But the lesson remained. True strength is quiet, unnoticed, and generous. Mockery and laughter reveal ignorance. Humility and skill reveal truth. And for the cadets of Fort Branson, one lesson had been carved into their memory forever. More powerful than any drill, medal, or order. The old janitor, the quiet man they had scorned, had saved them all.